Hello everybody, StarCraft here with another StarCraft 2 commentary. Oh my god, what are you doing, drones? I know you like to be together, but you have to start mining some minerals eventually. How many times do I start a video with me talking shit about my drones, which just do not ever do what I want them to do? Jesus. Anyway, this is a new map. It is the new ladder season in StarCraft 2. My opponent is going to be Ouga Fire. In the top right, as the red Protoss, in the bottom left is myself, vilePsY, as the blue Zerg. And I know in the past I said I was going to start telling you all people's rankings and stuff like that, but because of the reset ladder season, there's not really any point to that. It doesn't really give you a good representation of how good someone is. But let's go over this new map real fast. Of course, there is going to be one choke. There's a nice little landing pad like here and down here where you can get some drops off, or maybe a Nidus and stuff like that. So if you're a Terran or Protoss against a Zerg, you might want to get a pylon or a supply depot up there or something. But anyway, there is a choke leading into a natural, and the natural is pretty standard. There is kind of a larger choke right here, actually not too large, leading into the natural expansion, so you can very easily take that. But then the interesting thing about this map is the third base. Now the third base is right over here, and it can be taken so easily by any race, really, as long as you bust down these rocks. I mean, if you expand here as a Zerg and a Protoss just walks right up here and you haven't busted the rocks down, you're in trouble. So, really nice third base. I think this map is pretty neat. There are no rocks down here or here, so you can take those as well as a Zerg. And in the corners, of course, there are extra bases. It is a 4-player map, but it is in the 1v1 ladder pool, so very cool. I'm not sure what to think about this map overall, but I seem to like it. I don't even know if I like it or not. I just have not played it that much. But, oh, there are rocks. Okay, there are rocks leading up into this extra base right here. But the cool thing about these rocks is they're so large and wide that Zerglings can get quite a bit of surface area on those rocks. So even if you don't have any attack upgrades or anything, you can still expand just fine. But this was played yesterday during my stream. You can find my stream at twitch.tv/SciStarcraft. If you want to know what I'm streaming, follow me on Facebook or on Twitter at SciStarcraft. And Ouga blocking my expansion with this pylon. And I'm keeping these lings up here just because I want him to complete the pylon, and then I'll run down and bust it down and make him use that 100 minerals. But he does cancel it. Smart move by him. He should have seen my early pool anyway and realized I'm going to have lings out and I'm going to be able to kill that pylon. Speaking of lings, the lings are going across the map. If a Protoss player gets really greedy and goes Nexus before Cannon or Nexus before Forge even, the cannons will come so late, especially on this map with such a large choke going into the natural, that the lings can actually get up into the main and do a lot of damage. It's happened in the past. I've actually won games outright just by these 4 lings. Gotta be careful, almost losing that ling, but just running out of range of that cannon, so nice control right there. Always gotta do that perfect little push, like go right up there and then run away right as soon as you see something. So that was good. Looks like I am going to be working on these rocks. Now, as I was doing this, I wasn't really sure if it was a good idea or not. Should I actually be busting down these rocks? Wouldn't it kind of help him get to his third and take that and expand to it? But I didn't really care. You know, I was going to do it anyway. And you can see Ouga can barely see that I am busting down these rocks. He's going to be a little bit more, he's going to have a little bit more vision once this cybernetics core completes. But like I said, I don't know if it even matters or not. But I'm doing it anyway. Second queen is on the way. First queen is out. Going to inject that. Going to do a pretty hefty transfer. I've got 10 drones there and 11 drones at my main. So almost half my drones being transferred. I urge you to transfer around 30 to 40% of your drones. It just seems like a solid number. Right there was just below 50%. So maybe too big of a transfer. But again, it's not that big of a deal. You're not going to win or lose the game because of it. Lots of overlords flying around. And this Zealot's actually going around the other side. And I don't think Ouga knows either whether or not he should be, or whether or not he should let me bust down these rocks. And you can see I tried a little bit of Zergling micro, but I saw he was microing his Zealot, so I didn't even try to like do the auto attack micro because I figured Ouga would right click on the lings that he wanted to attack. So not even going to try to fight that Zealot, just going to run back, save my lings. These lings are very important for map control, so I want them to live. And you know, the third base on this map, if you are able to take down these rocks, is so easily defended against, or defended with the Zerg. So I'm kind of questioning this macro hash too. I feel like I should have been using the lings to bust down my own rocks instead of his rocks. Maybe keep a ling out here to find any drones or probes. And then just taking the third down here, and that's what Ouga was expecting as well. He knows you know, Zerg against a Forge fast expanding Protoss are going to want to take that third, so he was sending a couple Zealots down there to scout it out. These Zealots not going to get a whole lot done. 6 more Lings on the way, and I actually have an extra Queen. I actually have 3 Queens out already, and these 3 Queens are going to do just fine against these Zealots. And, you know, I like Ouga's thought process in trying to take down the tumors, but this is an extra Queen, so unfortunately, even if he did take down the tumors, it wouldn't have mattered. And you can see it still, even despite saying that he had very few Zealots and I was going to defend that just fine, I'm still making too many Lings. I made 8 Lings. I'm making 4 more. I'll have 18 Lings total just from seeing a threat of 2 Zealots, so not really necessary. I could have just kept making drones instead of Zerglings. Now I'm busting down these rocks. I guess if you're going to have that many Zerglings, you might as well use them for something. So those rocks are going down. This Overlord is kind of in position to do a little bit of scouting, but there's not much to see right now. Actually, there kind of is. There's 3 gateways, a robotics facility, 4 gateways, and a robotics facility, plus 1 coming off the Forge. And if I would have prod up the ramp with my Lings, I'd see that as well. My 4 geysers have gone down around 40 supply. It's kind of the number I've been sticking with. Put down all 4 geysers around 40, and you know, a third base is always good, but I've started favoring the macro hatch a lot lately because I don't know. I mean, it seems like 2-base Zerg against 2-base Protoss is fine as long as the Protoss isn't in deep tech. By the time they hit that deep tech, you really want to have a base over them. And so right now, I'm not feeling too bad about not having this extra base. It's just now going down at the 9-minute mark at the same time as the Protoss. So now this is the kind of situation where I need to get something done, you know, in the mid game to try to counteract his third base coming at the same time as my third base. So these Lings are going to be running up speed, almost completing. Lair on the way, as well as a Roach Warren. So there goes the Lair. What are these Lings going to do? Looks like they are going to be running up into the third, saying that this gateway is starting. No, the Lings are going to take out this probe. Are they? Yes, they are, and maybe force the cancellation of this Nexus. And this is one of the downsides of a greedy Protoss taking a third base so fast when his units aren't in position. He's trying to bust down these rocks. I shouldn't have been helping him earlier, and I am able to force the cancel of that Nexus. Not even going to bother to try to fight these Zealots because I'm assuming there's other forces coming, and the sentries were indeed coming. A robotics bay coming for Ouga. And that's a nice little tempo advantage right there. He only lost 100 minerals from it, but he got set back quite a bit because that Nexus is no longer starting. He's going to make a full wall with those gateways, so another reason why that third base is so easily defended as a Protoss player. He can still walk his units out here. So there's 1 Colossus on the way, another macro hatch for myself, it looks like. Or is that that's the expansion still? Never mind. So I've got 4 hatcheries down. I've got a Queen on my macro hatch. I cannot stress how important Queens are for a macro hatch. A Spire on the way. And this is going to be a nice little army to take out, you know, Colossus. I can just see it. Corruptors or Mutas, and he doesn't really have a lot of anti-air. If he gets that Colossus out and doesn't produce a lot more Stalkers, you know, to follow it up, my Mutas will just walk right over him. So we'll see what he chooses to do here. Plus 1 attack on the way for my Lings. Going to bust down these rocks, prepare a 4th base. And if we check out the Harvesters, it's now 76 to 62. And this is why I'm not too worried about my third base being a little bit slower, because the macro hatch means he's not going to snipe my third with an attack I'm not ready for, and I'll have plenty of you know, Lings or Roaches, whatever I choose to get against whatever attack he sends at me. So still looking just fine despite that slower third. Creep spread looking pretty good, and this is one of the benefits of that extra Queen. I don't know where she went. I think Ouga might have seen my Mutas though. We'll see how he reacts with these Stalkers. He's just kind of hanging out in the middle of his base. He's not in any kind of mineral line. There we go. Now he's throwing down those cannons. He has seen that Spire, and he's seen a couple Mutas flying towards him. So will these Mutas get any damage done? I'll have to try to find some kind of hole. But we're not seeing one right now. Third base up and running for him, 77 to 66 still. No infestation pit, nothing to be seen for me. So if I don't reach that T3 or get a lot of damage done with my Mutas, the Colossus Stalker count might get so high that there's not a whole lot I can do. Looks like he is expecting my Mutas to come into his second base. He defends it nicely. I don't think he lost any units whatsoever. And he is able to force my Mutas back out of there. 4th base coming up, as well as another macro hatch, and that's just kind of what you do when you're Zerg. You're going to have a lot of excess minerals, especially if you're going Ling Muta. So just throw down a lot of macro hatches, plus 2 attack on the way as well. And Ouga, realizing he's got an Artosis pylon, going to throw down a couple more pylons, or 1 more pylon and a cannon. Nice positioning of the Stalkers. Once again, he's got a group of Stalkers there, a group of Stalkers here, and no Stalkers back here because he realizes I would have to fly back past the natural to get there. And once I'm there, he can kind of trap me there. You know, he'll probably be able to pick off a couple Mutas. So nice play right there by Ouga, realizing that this observer did move out of the way for some reason. Infestation pit is up, Lair's on the way, and you know, I don't want him to hit that 200 number, so I'm gonna have to get some kind of harassment or tech going on here, and I'm gonna choose to go for tech this time around. A spine and a spore on each base to prevent any kind of DT play, because that has always owned me in the past. And now producing a lot of Zerglings, so 83 harvesters, not too bad as long as you're gonna have a lot of larvae, because your armies aren't going to be huge, so you can expect to lose a game. Just make sure you can, or lose your army, so expect to be able to replenish that, or to have to replenish that. Muta's now coming into the natural once again. Chrono Boost needs to be spent by Ouga, but he's not actually doing that. These Stalkers are going to shoot away my Muta's +2 attack coming for him, and the Hive getting close to finishing for myself. A lot of Lynx just kind of hanging out. And this is where a double-pronged attack might be nice. You know, maybe force all the Stalkers into the natural or the main, and then send some Zerglings at his third base. A lot of opportunities there. Still kind of waiting for the Hive. And notice I have transferred several drones from the main into this base and into the third base, just because you know, you want to distribute the mining between all your bases evenly. Still trying to get something done with Mutas, and I've reached the point where, okay, my saturation is really good. I've got a lot of excess money. I'm waiting for my tech. Let me free up some supply by getting 8 spines and 2 spores. And if he does decide to move out and attack me, it'll free up, or it'll be a good stalling tactic and a good defensive tactic. So I've got all those sitting down, and now you're probably wondering, wow, Ultralisk Cavern at Hive Tech instead of Broodlords. Why would you do that? Well, one, Broodlords are really susceptible to Blink Stalkers. And two, just for fun, you know, I want to try out some Ultras. I think Broodlords take a little bit longer to get. You can't really reinforce as well with Broodlords. Ultras are faster, blah, 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 stuff like that. Overall, Broodlord's probably a better pick, but I did go Ultras this game. My upgrades are looking okay for them. I've got 2 attack, and shut up, cat, and almost 1 armor. But now he is moving out across the map. I had the tower. I do see all of these units coming across, and this is going to stall. I can't engage this. Do you think Ling Mutas would do anything against this army? Absolutely not. That's why I don't want to engage right now. I'm going to let these stall, and I'm going to try to just do as much damage as I can with these Mutas. There's no point in sending these Mutas back again. They're doing tremendous damage to his economy, and I don't want to engage until my Ultras get done. 4 Ultras on the way, but I am supply capped, and this is what I meant. I'm maxed, I mean. And this is what I meant about using those drones to try to stall. It was stalling his forces, probably killed a couple units there. And also, it freed up some supply. A couple Archons going to try to take out these Mutas, but the Mutas, they are spread just enough to minimize the damage a little bit. 3 Archons going down. That's going to hurt his supply count. And he's now moving on up into my main, or into my natural rather. My main's down here. And all I want to do is do as much economic damage as I can, make as many Ultras as I can. Looks like he killed like all my Overlords. I'm making 14 of them. And then fly back with my Mutas and try to wipe out the army, because if I kill this army, I will have won the game, as opposed to me sending my Mutas back before doing any damage, maybe engaging out here or something, and killing his army wouldn't have been a decisive win for me. So my Muta's doing plenty of damage up here, +2 attack about halfway done. Adrenal Gland's almost done either as well. I don't want to engage until Adrenal Glands is done. He's going for my natural right now, killing a lot of probes. Still at 78 though, and remember, this space is still mining heavily. This space is still mining heavily. Second Nexus going down. Now going to be flying my Mutas back as he approaches my main base. No chitinous plating. No point. There is no point in getting upgrades in this situation when you don't think they will complete in time. I should be canceling this just to free up some supply, or free up some money, stuff like that. Mutas are flying back. Don't want to engage until the Mutas fly back. I've got 70 Lings, 3 Ultras, and 16 Mutas against a huge Protoss force, even some probes in there. And he is just wiping out all of my tech. Now here comes the move in. Lynx not with the best concave or anything like that, but this Ultra doing tremendous damage to these Mutas. Focus firing down these Colossi. 2 more Ultras popping out, 3 more Ultras popping out. Tons of Lynx being produced, 30 of them rallying from my 4th base. Even more Zealots rallying as well. They are going to 2-shot the Lynx, but these Ultras just doing so much damage. 11 kills on that Ultra. 1 kill, 6 kills, and 1 kill. 13 on that one. Finally cleaning up that Protoss army. And that was the power of the Ultras for you, man. Holy cow. I mean, there are some situations where you just don't feel like Broodlords could have been able to do that. And, you know, that one Ultra got so much damage down on those Stalkers. And honestly, when I was playing this game, I didn't think I was going to win that battle. I had no idea, but, you know, Adrenal Glands is pretty good. Rallying Ultras is pretty good. I had a lot of money. I feel like I reached that T3 tag just in time. And the icing on the cake was that he couldn't recover at all, so there's no reason for him to even stay. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you learned a little about a ZVP and Ultras, man, you guys are in a love-hate relationship with me right now. I don't really know what to think. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna go eat some giblets. Bye.